unites people. Armies, gold, flags, stories. We're in the great game now. And the great game is terrifying.
Welcome to the very first episode of Westeros Unveiled, the podcast where we dive deep into the lore and mysteries of Game of Thrones. Today, we're kicking things off with one of the series' most enduring debates.
That's right, Codex. For years, fans have argued who was the prince that was promised, the legendary hero destined to save Westeros from the encroaching darkness.
Was it the Mother of Dragons, the King in the North, or perhaps an unexpected hero entirely?
Join us as we unravel the ancient prophecies and examine the leading contenders. This is a full, deep dive into a question that still sparks heated discussions across the Seven Kingdoms.
So, let's start at the beginning. The prophecy of the prince that was promised is an ancient foretelling, said to originate 5,000 years ago. It describes a hero destined to save the world from an impending darkness, most notably the Long Night and the existential threat of the White Walkers.
And running parallel, often conflated with it, is the Azor Ahai prophecy, stemming from the followers of R'hllor, the Lord of the Light. This legend speaks of a warrior of fire who wields a burning sword called Lightbringer, crucial in combating the encroaching darkness.
The key elements associated with this savior are quite specific, being born amidst salt and smoke beneath a bleeding star, waking dragons from stone, pulling Lightbringer from flames, and having a song known as the Song of Ice and Fire.
But here's where the debate truly rages. Are Azor Ahai and the prince that was promised the same individual, or are they distinct figures? Melisandre often uses the terms interchangeably, but other lore masters, like Maester Aemon, only refer to the prince that was promised.
Lannister, Stark, Tyrell, Baratheon. They're all just spokes on a wheel, crushing those on the ground. I'm not going to stop the wheel. I'm going to break the wheel.
Our first major contender is Daenerys Targaryen. Her story, especially in the early seasons, aligns remarkably well with the ancient foretellings.
Absolutely. Her dramatic rebirth in Khal Drogo's funeral pyre is frequently cited as a literal fulfillment of being born amidst salt and smoke beneath a bleeding star. The smoke from the pyre, the salt from her tears, or the Dothraki Sea, and a red comet streaking across the sky at that very time. It all fits.
And her act of walking into that pyre directly led to the miraculous hatching of her 3 dragons from petrified eggs. That's undeniably waking dragons from stone.
Some theories even propose her dragons themselves embody her Lightbringer, powerful, fiery weapons she wields against darkness and injustice.
What's fascinating is that recent narrative developments in House of the Dragon Season 2 have further fueled her candidacy, with a vision strongly implying Daenerys is the PTWP, showing her emerging from fire with 3 newly hatched dragons.
And let's not forget Missandei's clarification. The High Valyrian word for prince is gender neutral, allowing for a prince or princess who was promised. Maester Aemon himself became convinced she was the one after hearing of her dragons.
Despite this strong alignment, her eventual descent into tyranny and death in the show's final season significantly complicates this interpretation for many. It leads to intense debate about whether the prophecy was a red herring or if the show simply got it wrong.
Moving on to Jon Snow, often seen as the quintessential hero, he presents another incredibly strong case.
His lineage alone is a powerful argument. As the son of Rhaegar Targaryen, representing fire, and Lyanna Stark, representing ice, Jon uniquely embodies the Song of Ice and Fire. Rhaegar himself was convinced that the PTWP would be born of his bloodline.
His dramatic death and subsequent resurrection by the Lord of Light, a deity closely associated with the Azor Ahai prophecy, strongly position him as reborn amidst significant events.
And Jon's unwavering commitment and leadership in uniting the disparate forces of Westeros against the existential threat of the White Walkers directly align with the hero destined to deliver the world from darkness.
Some fans even link Lyanna Stark's dying words to Ned, "Promise me, Ned," as a subtle nod to the promise inherent in the prophecy.
However, many arguments supporting Jon as PTWP find stronger grounding in the books than in the television series, which notoriously veered from the source material.
The show's pivotal decision to have Arya Stark, rather than Jon, deliver the fatal blow to the Night King was a major source of contention and disappointment. It left many feeling that Jon's Targaryen heritage ultimately had no impact on the series' conclusion. This subversion ensures Jon's connection to the prophecy remains a highly relevant and debated topic.
Then we have Arya Stark, whose pivotal role in the defeat of the Night King introduced a surprising twist to the prophecy debate.
Her decisive action during the Battle of Winterfell was arguably the most impactful moment in the Great War against the dead.
Melisandre's cryptic prophecy to Arya, foretelling her role in killing those with brown eyes, green eyes, and blue eyes, is often cited as a premonition of this moment, with the Night King embodying the blue eyes.
This narrative choice was highly divisive, catching many viewers by surprise, especially those who expected Jon Snow. Critics argued that Arya's intervention felt out of nowhere in the context of the PTWP prophecy, noting her lack of direct ties to the Targaryen bloodline, a key requirement for the prophesied hero.
Her role highlighted the show's tendency to subvert expectations, sometimes at the expense of established character arcs. This leads to the red herring theory. Was the prophecy itself a misdirection, designed to mislead characters and audiences alike, emphasizing that destiny is not always what it seems?
And finally, we can't discuss prophecy without touching on the concept of the dragon has 3 heads.
This is a fascinating and often debated element, particularly among book readers. Rhaegar Targaryen himself believed that the dragon must have 3 heads, suggesting that the ultimate salvation might not rest on a single individual, but rather on a triumvirate or a collective effort from 3 key figures.
While briefly alluded to, the television series largely omitted or significantly downplayed this, which contributed to fan dissatisfaction with the ending.
The complex and often contradictory nature of these prophecies, even among characters within the narrative, highlights a deliberate narrative choice by George R.R. Martin. Prophecies are ambiguous, open to misinterpretation, and capable of leading characters astray.
This inherent vagueness fuels the ongoing fan discourse. So after all this, who do you think was the prince that was promised? Or was the prophecy simply misunderstood?
Tell us in the comments below. This is just the beginning of Westeros Unveiled, so make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive.